So this is I actually saw Animitch this morning. We had breakfast together.
How was the Shrave?
It wasn't a Shrave. It was just a Shrek concert.
Shrek Scar.
How was the Schronzer?
It was great.
I forget. I get these multiple different Shrek things mixed up.
I shouldn't have even bothered.
What, you loved it? You had so
I thought
much
Specs
fun.
was going to be
He
there
loved
on
it.
his
He
own.
Absolutely loved it.
Like a little sad, but he had other people going with him. He lied to all of us.
Here's the thing, Mitch. Here's the thing is that when you talked to me about it, you were like, I'm just going out of mercy for Specs.
Yeah.
But then it seems to me like you really enjoyed it.
Who
and you're
said
just
that?
and you're just and you
Specs said that.
He was dancing along to all the
He
songs.
loved
He was
it.
singing along. He grabbed a balloon out of the air at one point and shoved it up his jumper so it looked like he was pregnant. And then he mimicked having a miscarriage by popping the balloon while it was under his jumper.
Hey, I'm Catsman. You're listening to Lunchtime, the podcast. I'm here with Animitch.
Onichi, what's up, guys? Animitch here.
Moogle Pies.
Yellow.
Specs.
I'm somewhere.
And Zoot.
It's me.
I have a thing to send you all.
Is it about the TV that didn't fall off the wall?
It better be.
No, I thought we'd do that later.
Let's do that later.
Yeah, I guess that can't be the warm-up, really.
Yeah, we have to dedicate at least an hour to that.
That might need to be its own podcast.
Yeah, actually, we can have a spin-off podcast about TV happenings.
Oh.
I've sent you the link for Magical Sword Giving Old Man.
Sorry, you've sent us the link?
I don't get it!
Because that's the name of the character you play as in The Legend of Zelda.
That's the name of the character who obtains sword.
Why have you sent us this?
I just thought it was really funny that his name is Magical Sword Giving Old Man.
Well, he doesn't have a real name, probably, so...
He is named. He's just always Sword Giving Old Man.
I love to see also letter entrusting old man, sword giving old man,
Yeah.
white sword giving old man, and old woman.
Yeah, all the different genres of old man. The Zelda Wiki has a whole page just for old man that goes through all of the different old men who give you various things throughout your adventures.
Old men running the world.
Wait, hold on. You've linked us to Magical Sword Giving Old Man. There's also just a Sword Giving Old Man who gives you... He's the
Yeah.
guy who gives you the first sword. This
Yeah.
is the guy who gives you the magical sword. I see now.
The man isn't magical, the sword is magical.
Yes.
It feels like the wiki could have consolidated all of these old men into one page and explained the differences between
They're
them.
different
Well, they're
characters.
different guys.
Sword Giving Old Man and Magical Sword Giving Old Man are two different guys.
Are you telling me that there is one page on the wiki for each character who tells you things like Dodongos dislike smoke?
Probably.
No, they're just under old man.
They're just all different kinds of old men.
Why does the sword-giving old man get his own section and Dodongo Smoke Man doesn't? He's like relegated to the pit.
If you go to the Old Man wiki entry, there's a section called Other Similar Old Men.
And it begins with the phrase, "Old men are recurring characters in the Legend of Zelda series."
Old men are also recurring characters in my life.
Did I tell you that I was given knowledge by an old man?
I'm sure you were given knowledge by many old men. What?
The they do it with mirrors guy.
No, I don't know this one.
An old man walked up to me while I was walking to Aldi, and he stopped me and he pointed towards the sky and he said, "You see that?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "They do it with mirrors, you know." And I said, "They do what with mirrors?" And he just repeated, "They do it with mirrors, you know." And I just said, "I see," and then walked away, because that's what I've learned from Shenmue, is that you can just terminate a conversation by saying, "I see."
Have you had any other strange happenings with similar old men? Because I feel like this is similar to how I keep getting random religious adjacent books come through my door unsolicited.
I wish I got weird religious books from old men.
When I was outside Aldi, an old man stopped me and he gave me a load of pamphlets which were not about Islam directly, but they had a lot of Islamic content. It was like he was from some kind of Islamic cult, not one of the main... He wasn't part of the main Muslim religious group, and he was cycling around town with a little box strapped to the back of his bike that was filled with these religious pamphlets, partly on the Quran and partly on other stuff. And so I've got them. They were in nice scented paper he'd wrapped them up in as well, so now they're on my religious documents shelf.
Oh, I know that man. You want to know what his name is?
Yes.
His name is Scented Religious Pamphlet Giving Old Man.
You've heard of him? Great.
Before we move on, has anyone else been given anything by an old man?
An old man taught me about friction when I was far too old and would have known about friction. Stopped me in the middle of the road while I was on my scooter and told me the only reason my scooter moved is because of friction, which I don't think is right. Surely friction's what's slowing it down.
Well, friction is not the only thing at play.
This reminds me of a conversation me and Mitch had earlier today about beans and how they would move if they were frictionless.
Thinking about those beans.
We were just trying to decide how much a milkshake cup could hold, and of course you have to... The only way to do that is think of how many beans. Could it hold a standard can of 4 milligrams of beans in that, which is not how you measure milliliters. It's not by grams of beans.
This is like when you read about a location on the news and they describe it in terms of the number of sizes of whales it is.
What?
The only way for specs to conceptualize volume is numbers of beans.
Frictionless beans, because beans take up space.
But frictionless beans also take up space. Clearly the old man has taught you nothing.
Hey lunch!
We played The Misadventures of Tron Bonne for the book club, and I will not say what I thought about it right away, so it's not to influence the tone too much.
Let's introduce the game a little bit first. So The Misadventures of Tron Bonne is a spin-off of Mega Man Legends, which itself is a spin-off of the Mega Man series of games.
Which is a spin-off of Astrobot.
Which is a spin-off of Pinocchio.
Which is a spin-off of the Jewish Golem.
Yeah, and that's a spin-off of the Bible. It all comes back to God, everyone.
Is that a spin-off of the Bible?
It's Bibles all the way down.
It's actually a spin-off of Journey to the West, but we don't talk about that.
Mega Man Legends, I think it's important to give context about this, is a third-person action-adventure game where you explore areas, shoot at stuff. It has a Z targeting style system. It'd be an L2 targeting system, I think, because it's on the PS1. You can lock onto enemies and shoot at them if they're flying above you and stuff like that. It's very important to note that this game, Tron Bonne, its core gameplay, it has like 3 different gameplay styles, but the majority of what you're going to be doing is very similar to in Mega Man Legends. So you're running around shooting at stuff and exploring areas, but in much more limited areas that are much less free and sort of open worldy than in Mega Man Legends. And it still has the problem from Mega Man Legends 1, in which when you lock onto something you can't move, which they changed for Mega Man Legends 2, from what I understand, so you could lock onto something to shoot it while also strafing and moving out of its way. The rest of Tron Bonne is not action-adventure gameplay, it's Sokoban puzzles, and we'll talk about them on their own, I think, in a bit. And then there's like another section where you're in a first-person kind of cave exploration game where you don't have a lot of power yourself and you just order your little guys around to do things. You play as Tron Bonne throughout most of the game, and she takes control of the serve bots who help her by gathering items that she tells them to go gather, attacking guys that she tells them to attack, and they also have different stats which affect your abilities when you are actually playing. Anyone want to add anything else to what this game's about?
Not really, no.
I mean, I could give a basic plot synopsis.
I think, that's probably worthwhile. Go for it.
Well, it takes place before Mega Man Legends 1. It turns out that Teasel Bonne had borrowed 1,000,000 zenny from some loan shark whose name I forget, in order to build the Gesellschaft, which you actually fight in Mega Man Legends 1. But he's unable to pay it back in time, so he gets kidnapped. And so the crux of the game is finding different ways to raise money, usually through crimes, to pay off the debt and then subsequently pay off the interest accrued on the debt. Yeah, that's basically it.
You kind of take the game at your own pace. You don't have to complete all of the levels to pay off the debt.
Yeah.
So if you don't get on with one type of the gameplay, you can just like replay other types of the game until you've made enough money. There's also a casino you can go to like farm for money as well, and things like that.
There's also no reward for completing every single minigame.
Yeah, it doesn't give you anything really if you complete each section. There's not like a secret ending or anything if you've done everything in the game, which I think maybe most of us did. I finished all of the levels. I don't know if everyone else did.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did not, because I played this game maybe 45 minutes every day for like 2 weeks, and then like on the eve of completing it, I just couldn't bring myself to boot it up again because I liked it less every time I booted it up.
I would say the farm levels are the worst part of the game.
Let's talk about the good stuff first.
Yeah,
I think let's
talk
all
about
say
the good
some
stuff.
things we like about it, and then we'll talk about the bad stuff, because that's going to be the meat of what we talk about, I think. I love how this game looks, and I love how this game sounds, and it oozes charm, and the serve bots are really funny and cute, and the voice acting's really good.
Yeah.
All of the 2D art is fun. It's like anime styled, and people will do things like they'll lean out of their like little portrait bubble to like shake their fists at each other. The 3D art in this is excellent. It's like low poly anime aesthetic, and I think it's one of my favorite looking games ever. Maybe I really like how the Mega Man Legends games look. So when I've like been getting into modeling, I was like, I want to make a model that looks like this for some of the stuff I've been working on for Lawyer Guy, and I really appreciate how much they could convey in how little detail they had to work with. Like the textures are all quite small, the models are all really low poly, but they look excellent. They look really, really good.
Yeah, this is like one of Capcom's internal teams at like the height of their power, particularly the height of their 2D power, but also arguably like the height of their like PS1 aesthetic power. And there's not many Capcom games that have a combination of their good 2D and 3D art.
Yeah, it's really tough. Easily the best looking thing that they made on that console.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Specs, I don't really have anything to add from what Specs said. It's a really charming game, and I think those elements of it kept me playing it, even as I became slowly disenfranchised with the gameplay.
Yeah, those are easily the best parts of the game.
But just like, yeah, little stuff like all of the little surfbot interactions and dialogue that you can have there, all of the like conversations that like Tron has with like random people in the environment, all of the like character portraits in like the menus and everything, like they didn't have to go that hard. And like the little cutscenes with all the surfbots, like showing them going inside a house and wrecking it and all of that stuff. I mean, it's a delight.
It's interesting because this game clearly had quite a low budget, it feels like, because I've not played Mega Man Legends or 2, but I think they were quite big budget games, and this one was just like, people must have clearly very much liked the Bonne family from Mega Man Legends 1, so they were like, okay, we can use this as kind of like a bit of a cash grab almost. It doesn't feel cash grabby. It feels like a lot of work was put into this.
I thought that was the concept of the game.
I would call it more of a stopgap for the sequel than a cash grab.
Yeah. Mega Man Legends 1 did really well, and I think Capcom overestimated how much people would go for a second-order spin-off game.
Let's talk about the main gameplay first, and then I think we'll close on the Sokoban, because I think we're more happy with that than we are the main gameplay. The gameplay in this game is ponderous, I think maybe a word I would use to describe it.
Sure it is.
You run around environments that you can't see very much of because the draw distance does not go very far, and occasionally you will bump into an enemy and you will stand there locked onto the enemy and shoot it, or you can run left and right and forwards while shooting it to try to avoid its shots coming back at you, but you cannot run backwards, so if you're trying to dodge the enemy attacks, you will inevitably be going towards it, bump into it and hurt yourself anyway. I just think the combat pisses me off so much because it's a shooter where you can't move if you're also aiming, and it's just, you have to stop, dodge an attack, then stop, lock on, shoot twice, move again. Some of the enemies are these worms that just burrow underground and you can't shoot them half the time, and then you have to reposition to shoot them, and turning is slow, and there is a quick turn button, but that's only for 180 degrees, and like you can jump in the game, but there's no real reason to because everything's pretty much on a flat plane, and it just feels like they put enemies in boxy rooms for you to fight as something to do before you move on to the next room, and it's just not interesting at all.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that instead of using the general combat of the rest of the Mega Man Legends games, they implemented a really gutted version of it where you can't side roll, you can't equip more than one weapon at once. Weapons just root you in place while you fire them, which is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And those ones are required to progress further into one of the dungeons.
Yep.
So you can't just not use it.
Yep, the weapon that destroys walls. It's funny, like when you pick up a new weapon in this game, when you have one made in the lab, you might think, oh, I'm getting a better weapon, but you're not. Normally you're actually getting a worse weapon. You're getting a version of the weapon that you already have, but now it's way slower to fire, and it roots you in place for much longer. And yeah, there's just like a fundamental disconnect between how the weapons and movement are designed, which are slow and ponderous, but like the game is technically a mech game. So that does make sense. That's not a problem in and of itself. The problem is that the overwhelming majority of the enemies in this game just bum rush you in a straight line and thwack into you and damage you significantly when they do that. So the entirety of the combat loop is running away from enemies and occasionally getting a tiny window in to turn around and shoot them.
Yeah, and you can send your surfbots in to help with combat, so they can do damage. You can get upgrades for them. The surfbot systems are really interesting, actually, because like every surfbot, you can name them all. There's 50 of them, and they've all got different stats, but some of them unlock abilities like slingshot or bombs or sniper, which will upgrade their combat abilities if you take them out into the field with you. But like if you tell them to attack, they will do it for about 5 seconds and then get bored and stop, which is really annoying because you have to like constantly be relocking onto the enemy and telling the surfbots to go attack it if you want them to help in combat, and that's all time that it takes an animation. You like fire a seeker bomb to target the enemy for the server bots to go attack it, you could be shooting the enemy in that time. So you're making a decision while the enemy is available to be hit. Do I just shoot it, or do I send my serve bots in to hit it? Both of which will do about the same amount of damage before you have to reapply either shots or your serve bots to it, which again is just frustrating.
Like a lot of the stuff in this game, it's just like conceptually really cool. What, you mean I get 50 serve bots and they all have their own personalities and I can name all of them and I can level up their stats, but then in practice it's like, oh, in order to do any damage, this serve bot's attack rating needs to be higher, so I play the mini game that makes his attack rating go up over and over and over. Or like, oh, this serve bot unlocks a special skill. I don't know what item to give him. Do I have the item? Oh, do I need to get the item? Oh, I've got all these items. Let me just rub them against all the serve bots on the ship and see if any of them accept the item and like gain their special ability. It just like or like you say, like commanding serve bots in battle. Oh, great! I'll be able to use strategy. They'll be able to go and do stuff for me. But then they like become a burden. It's like every feature this game has is like a monkey paw.
Yeah.
I think there's just better action games, and considering that quite a large amount of the game is that action combat, you'd have thought that it would be better.
Also with the serve bots, like, although you've got 50 of them and you can take whichever ones you want into combat, realistically there's like 6 who have useful combat potential, and the others are just like, they may as well stay on the ship.
There's only 40 of them.
Oh yeah, there's 40. Yep.
And is there 40? We keep saying 50. Everyone say the word 40 and I'll patch it in.
40.
40.
No,
40.
that's not happening.
40.
40.
The other weird thing for me about the main gameplay, which is these combat sections, is so there's the farm levels, which Zoot has mentioned, where as well as having to shoot at enemies, you also have to get your servbots to pick up cows and chickens and throw them into a vehicle. Fine, whatever. There's bank robbing missions in which you just kill police until the boss shows up, and then she runs at you. This is really funny, actually. The police lady trains judo and then just like throws you over her shoulder even though you're 4 times the size of her. It's really funny, and like her entire game plan is run up to you, grab you and throw you on the ground. It's really funny.
Yeah, and the only counter is to send the serve bots at her so she can start beating the shit out of them instead.
But then, like, that's also the same gameplay. It's also kind of annoying. And then there's one level where you explore a dungeon and you make fixed progress. So, like Catsman was saying, there is a weapon that destroys walls. That's how you make progress in that dungeon. You only actually need to go in that dungeon probably twice. Maybe even once if you've already got the arm cannon upgrade and you know you've got to equip it.
Mhm.
There's a boss at the end who is not announced, is not explained, and you kill them, and then you don't do a dungeon crawling section ever again up until the very last level, which is like the sort of finale. And that's really weird. It feels like they wanted there to be more dungeon exploration levels, and they just either ran out of time or they couldn't think of anything or they didn't have the resources or whatever it was.
I don't mind the idea of a somewhat large dungeon that you're supposed to visit multiple times over the course of the game, and because it's got a sort of branching layout, so you can just go down one branch, get whatever's at the end of that branch, and then come back and go and do something else. That's how I played it, at least. I didn't mind it.
How many times did any of you need to go into that dungeon? Because I only went in twice and then I got what I needed from it. So, like, to me, it felt like it was unnecessary.
Yeah, I only went in twice.
Yeah, twice.
Unfortunately, the boss is also really badly designed. It's the way you combat it is unintuitive. Okay, you need to send your serve bots to plug its nose. There's no indication of that.
Yeah.
Try to do it from the ground floor. Things jump up and then block your servbot guiding missile. So you need to stand on its leg, aim at its head, and then fire it, and then the servbots will plug its nose. And then you have to avoid bombs with poor movement, so you can actually damage it when it's in the limited time that its mouth is open, and it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, really, it kind of sucks.
While you're trying to figure all that out.
Yeah, and then the last boss is also I got so bored of fighting the last boss, I just kind of stood there and shot it, and every time my health got low, I just used a healing item. I just didn't care by the end of the game.
Yeah, you can just stock up like crazy on healing items,
Yeah.
which is good, because fights take ages in this game. Enemies are tanky as hell for no reason. I say this as someone who didn't want to play the attack stat up minigame over and over and over.
Just do the speed one instead.
Mitch, did you experience any part of this game other than the cooking for the Surfbots minigame?
No. I did play it off stream after that just to beat the game.
Okay.
But yeah, Capcom aren't good developers and programmers because they don't understand how they are meant to arrange the alphabet. Everyone knows that B is the opposite of A. Okay? That's how it works. Yes.
No. Have you seen a D-pad with B opposite A on it?
But B should be opposite A. That's
No,
what I've concluded.
B should be diagonally across from A. That's what controllers are like.
Mitch, which button should be opposite spaghetti?
Curry rice.
Curry rice.
Spaghetti being on square is fine because square begins with S and spaghetti begins with S.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
For those who didn't see it, the fucking spaghetti curry rice like Surfbot food minigame made Mitch undergo ego death. I watched him play it. At first, he was angry at it, but then slowly he became accepting of it. And every time he got something wrong, he just said, "You're right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. Yeah, you're right." And then after a while,
I was right. I was wrong.
he stopped saying anything at all. He just sat there in silence for 3 hours, failing the same mini game.
I have no idea how you're meant to beat that minigame. It is impossible.
It is absurdly difficult.
It's really hard.
A lot of the mini games are like that, and a lot of them require you to do them repeatedly. The only one that you don't have to do multiple rounds of is the torture mini game. And they make up for that by the fact that every time you go out and do something, one of your Surfbots becomes lazy, and you have to go and do the torture minigame, which is very boring.
I didn't bother. I did it once for the tutorial, and then I never did it again because it just didn't matter. Like, the game is so short that it doesn't matter if half your Surfbots are lazy, I don't think. They're not really doing much for you, I don't think.
I did kind of like the first-person dungeon crawling segments. I mean, they were a bit light on navigation and puzzling and that kind of thing. I would have liked to see more of that, but I did think they were a fun concept.
What did you like about them? Because I found it to just be... I felt like it was too linear to be interesting. It's just kind of walking around, well, floating around a dungeon and telling your Surfbots to push switches until you get to the end.
Yeah, but I mean... That's so much better than the regular gameplay. It's not even a comparison.
Oh, it was a reprieve, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I like crawling a dungeon, but yeah, like you said, they're all kind of simple.
Yeah, the bosses also kind of sucked really bad in those sections because again, you're fighting something without the tools to appropriately fight it. Is the way I felt about it.
I'm not sure why they bothered trying to put boss fights in them when all of the dungeon calls themselves were about like traps and, you know, like navigation and switch puzzles and stuff. It's weird.
Should we talk about the bit of the game we did seem to enjoy, which is the Sokoban puzzles?
What if I told you that this was actually not Sokoban? And that it was better than Sokoban.
Everything's better than Sokoban. That's not difficult.
Yeah, I really liked it. I don't know if you presented me with this game and said, play this, and you removed all of the other elements and just made it Sokoban puzzles, I don't know if I would like the Sokoban as much, because I don't have all the shit I don't want to play to go, oh, thank God I get to push blocks around now for a bit. But I think what's nice about it is, in a traditional Sokoban, you are pushing blocks, and every time you want to move a block 5 spaces, you need to make 5 actions, whereas in this, you just pick the block up, and then you can freely move until you put the block down. Thank God I do not have to wait for the pushing animation to happen that takes 3 seconds every time I want to push the fucking block.
Well, the way they cut down on the tedium is that they deliberately constrain the number of different combinations of things that can happen, because you have a set number of tiles you can walk when you've lifted a block, and because you have a set number of lift and drop actions. First of all, it means that no puzzle can ever go on for way longer than it ought to and require you doing loads and loads of pushing, because you can't do that. But also it means that that also opens new strategic possibilities, because it's not like in Sokoban, it's not like, oh, I have to like tediously get all of these like boxes through this massive maze of bullshit. It's like, no, you've got a relatively simple, relatively small level, but you've just got to try and work out how to like optimize the problem as instead of like solving it whole cloth, which I felt was a lot more fun. My only criticism of this section is that the second batch where you have the forklift kind of hurts that a little bit, because the forklift is kind of burdensome. It adds to the complexity of it, and it means you have to wait through this animation of the surfbot going out and picking up the box and taking it back to the ship. And to me, at least, that kind of took away from the thing that I liked about them. But I still liked the puzzles. I still thought that they were quite well designed.
Yeah. I liked the crane more than the forklift, I think. Yeah, it does a good amount to add kind of intuitive elements, like the one-way sort of floors, which also mean that you don't take extra steps when lifting a box and things. Having to put boxes in water to make new pathways. Some boxes you can move freely, others you can't move while you're holding them, and things like that. So I think it did well, and yeah, it's just better than a lot of block pushers that I've played. So yeah, it's just I liked it. I thought it was good.
Don't know why that Capcom decided to go so hard on the block pushing element of this game.
It feels almost like it feels like they wanted to make something that had more gameplay styles in it, like, because there's 3 different styles of gameplay in this game, but one of them is really dominating, and it feels like maybe if they'd had more time, they would have made more mini games and stuff. I could even see them having wanted to make this kind of like a multiplayer spin-off or something.
Yeah.
I think they might have recycled some gameplay concepts for it specifically, like the Sokoban puzzles. Maybe they were working on something else that got scrapped, and so they had a bunch of puzzle designs.
It's very smorgasbord, isn't it?
It could be that this is some junior designers like assortment of random projects that they worked on.
Just a very strange experimental little game, and like, I guess it's fine.
Spin-off of a spin-off made seemingly to promote a demo of Mega Man Legends 2.
Not the first time that Capcom have done that, or others as well. Won't be the last.
It will be the last, because you don't sell games anymore.
Well, that's true.
You don't sell fucking Mega Man Legends anymore. They don't make games like this anymore, and in many ways that is a good thing. But I do miss this era of Capcom very much.
Would I recommend this game? If you're a big fan of the Bonne family, play this game.
I know that even if you're a big fan of Teasel and Bonne are barely even in this game, to be honest. And Tron is maybe more entertaining when she's interacting with Mega Man than not. The surfbots are really this game's sort of star character. And maybe the villains. I quite like the villains as well.
My main suggestion would be, if you really liked Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 and you want more of that universe and don't necessarily care
If it's good.
if it's a wholly good experience, then check out Tron Bonne. Otherwise, just watch someone play through it.
This is the absolute definition of damning with faint praise.
Capcom's hubris that they could just release this as a, yeah, what the fuck ever, who cares, you'll buy it.
Can't believe this is like one of the most expensive PlayStation games.
It came with a demo for Rockman Dash 2, or as we call it here in the West, Mega Man Legends 2. So, you know, I think it probably sold quite well on people being like, oh, I want to play the demo of MML 2.
Worked for Zone of the Enders for Metal Gear Solid 2.
Worked for... Which Halo game did that? Halo Wars, I think?
Crackdown had a demo for Halo in it.
Oh, that was it, yeah. Crackdown had a demo for Halo 3, yeah.
Yeah. Many such cases. It's not the best robot-based action game on the PlayStation, but it's okay.
What would you say is the best robot-based action game on the PlayStation?
Silent Bomber.
Ooh.
What about Armored Core?
It's good, but it's not Silent Bomber. I might put Silent Bomber on the wheel just so that it might show up.
I would vote for Silent Bomber because that game looks absolutely fascinating.
It's fucking incredible. And it was released around the same time as this, and I was constantly comparing the action in the gameplay to Silent Bomber because they're taken aside Silent Bomber's like main story mode. You can unlock all of the bosses as like playable characters in like an arena combat mode, and all of them control better than Tron does. So
Oh, I think I played a bit demo of this on one of those PS1 demo discs years back.
yeah, it was on there. It's really good. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I remember liking it.
Did you know this is the second game with the word Tron in the title that is a multimodal game in which you do many different activities in order to gain points?
Did you know that Tron Bonne sounds like trombone?
Yeah.
Did you know that Bon sounds like Bon?
What?
I googled Teasel Bonne hoping to find what he was a reference to, but I only found copious quantities of furry fetish art, so don't do that.
Or do that if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Now you know.
I summon ye to Wheel City.
Wheel City on the planet Wheel.
Thank you for keeping that alive.
You're so welcome.
They do it with wheels, you know.
I think rather than spinning the wheel, we should say the different types of lunches in circular order. A lunch, B lunch, C lunch, D lunch,
Spaghetti.
We're playing Ape Out.
Ape Out.
Ape Out.
Oh, Ape Out. This is a... who is this? Is this Bennett Foddy did this game?
No, it's a Devolver game.
Devolver is a publisher.
No, it's a genre, don't you know?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
You told me it wasn't a genre.
B lunch.
Anyway, who wants to talk about teletext?
What do you have to say about teletext?
Okay, who remembers teletext here? Raise a hand.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. My dad loved teletext. He
So did
genuinely,
mine.
he would get home from work
Yeah.
and he would immediately put on teletext.
Yeah, my dad was the same.
Yeah, so teletext was a little bit like the internet before the internet got going, but you had it on your TV. It was a series of like just text-based and ASCII information that you could get in secret TV channels, which would tell you mostly sports results is what I remember my dad using it for. He'd like stick
Yeah.
on teletext and like monitor what was going on in the Premier League.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for it now, and the sample page is teletext reporting on the 9/11.
The 9/11.
Yeah, the 9/11. Have you heard of it?
The 9/11. Nah. What happened?
Well, according to teletext, quote, Terror jet blitz devastates America, 303.
303?
That's the combination you had to type in on your remote control to get more information. They had a Bin Laden special on 320.
Mitch has just posted like a repository of teletext games you can play that are like taken from.
Is it that? I don't think it is. It's just someone who's made a website for what teletext was like, so you can experience it yourself if you were too young, or you weren't allowed the television because you would have burnt out the tubes if you watch your cartoons.
Yeah, this is you could do like quizzes, you could get the weather reports, you could get news, but importantly, you could also get pornography on teletext, which was the equivalent of having ASCII images of naked women blasted into your retinas in like 3 different colors, with phone sex hotline numbers that you could call. I will link you guys in a second.
Are these numbers still active?
It's all in the numbers.
Asking for a friend.
There's a couple of links where you can see some examples.
4, lads, 4.
I don't think there was much of this in the UK, so what I've linked to here is German examples, but my friend Alex, who's Romanian, said, I think it was him told me about this, he was like, do you guys remember teletext pornography? I was like, what? And we looked it up, and yeah, you could just like, there were certain teletext channels where you could look for various ways to call ladies who would have phone sex with you. You know, you may have been able to solicit other services as well, I suppose.
God, the things we did before the internet. It's much funnier having all of this porn with German words near it. Don't ask me why I think that.
All these blue women they had in Germany at the time.
They only had 3 colors, okay? You could have purple woman, blue woman. I guess you could have white woman.
You've got things like, ich habe eine große Oberweite, meaning I have a large bust measurement.
Thank goodness.
Heiße Kontakte im SMS-Chat, meaning hot contacts over SMS messaging.
Well, the Germans really understand the art of romance and, you know, talking dirty, don't they? You couldn't get this in the UK, because I assumed that our teletext only came from certain providers. You couldn't just dial into anyone, or could you? I don't actually know.
Lesben, frische Girls 20 plus laden dich zu ihrer XXX-Party. Eine Sag schnell zu. Doppelte Spaß garantiert.
I'm sorry, all of the people using this service should have just gone to the woods and gotten the porno out of the porno tree.
Yeah.
Or just gone into their attics, you know. That also works.
I mean, this is like 1970 when teletext was invented. So imagine like trying to watch porn on the internet in the 70s. When was the internet invented? Later than that, right?
Late 80s. The World Wide Web was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But people in the 70s were just very horny.
That's because the 60s had just happened.
Well, I'm saying tree porn existed by this point. There was no need for any of this.
Yeah. It is funny that the first image we've seen of teletext in many years as well, while we've gone to research this topic, is about 9/11.
Well, it's an important event, you know.
It's a spectre haunting this podcast.
I think we need to talk about 9/11 at some point, because I don't think we've ever fully addressed what happened.
What do you mean we've not addressed what happened? What new commentary would I have?
I just think there's a lot...
Did we talk about this last episode? I'm sure we had a bit
we haven't
where we
talked
talked about
this.
9/11.
We could devote a segment to it on the TV Fell Off the Wall podcast.
It's true.
So... We've been thinking about talking about media that's been affected by the 9/11 terror attacks, because at the time and shortly afterwards, directly as the plane hit the building and shortly afterwards, it would have been quite bad taste to potentially show the World Trade Center in media, in advertising, etc., etc. I think everyone just wanted to forget, although now we're being told to never forget. So, you know, that's a point of contention. But there's lots of, like, films that had to be edited, video games that may have pulled things, like Metal Gear Solid 2, for instance. So there was an idea that we might want to talk about everyone's favourite instance of 9/11 related media vanishings, I suppose.
They didn't localize Metal Wolf Chaos because of 9/11. That's my story.
Is that why it didn't get localized, really?
Literally, yes.
I think I looked into that. I can't remember where that rumor came from, because it was like 2000 and... When was Metal Wolf Chaos? I swear it was 2004. Explain why it wouldn't be released in Europe.
Another one, right? Okay, on September the 10th, 2001, Nintendo released Advance Wars in the US. The release was scheduled for like Japan pretty shortly after, but they ended up not releasing it in Japan because they thought it would be tasteless to release a war-related game in Japan after another country had suffered a terrorist attack. And didn't the Advance Wars remake?
Yeah,
Didn't they also
Ukraine,
delay
yeah.
that due to the Ukraine war?
They did, yeah.
Does Nintendo know that you can release a war-related product
No, you can't.
at a time when another country is at war? It's not Ghost.
When is it ever any country not
There's
at war?
been-
True.
Yeah, someone's at war somewhere, Nintendo. This is ridiculous.
What September the 11th took from me was they cancelled an episode of Card Captors on ITV, and I never got to see it, so fuck you, September the 11th.
You could probably go and see it now.
I think I wanted to watch Dragon Ball, and that was cancelled for news broadcast as well.
The most devastating casualties of that attack.
They always used to fucking schedule Wimbledon before The Simpsons on BBC Two, and anytime tennis overran, they would just cancel The Simpsons. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Play the fucking program that you scheduled in the TV guide, you dickheads. I'm still mad.
There will be a tennis replacement service.
Or my example is not something that was removed because of 9/11, but something that was removed due to different memory constraints and ended up being sort of prophetic, and that is the skyline in New York in Deus Ex is notably missing the World Trade Center.
Yeah, because of a
there you
terrorist
go.
attack in universe.
I think my favorite one, which is media affected in an interesting way, is there's a Muppet movie called It's a Very Muppet Christmas Movie, a very merry Muppet Christmas movie, in which it's kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, in which Kermit kind of goes through this sequence of wondering what life would be like if he didn't exist, and in all of the shots where Kermit was never born, you can see the World Trade Center in the background, and in all of the scenes where Kermit was born, the World Trade Center has been demolished. So yeah, you can say that it's Kermit's fault in some way that the World Trade Center bombings happened.
Kermit is at the very least complicit.
I mean, we don't know how he did it. Like, maybe like terrorists just really liked the Muppets and that inspired them. And without the Muppets having been there, because Kermit never got the band together, like, you know, they just wouldn't have been inspired to bomb the World Trade Center, you know?
Wait, we have talked about 9/11 because we talked about Bin Laden really liking Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, we did.
That's adjacent. I mean, that was its own separate segment, I would say. Other things that were affected: Spider-Man, the Spider-Man movies. I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 had to have some reshoots, or there was a trailer that was pulled or something because
there was a Twin Towers trailer.
Yeah, there was a scene that was going to be in the film that eventually didn't make it, where he was going to like string up a helicopter between the Twin Towers with his webs.
I think that's in one of the trailers anyway.
It is, yeah.
You could probably edit it back in because it was meant to be like the big reveal when Spider-Man, like, you know, he speaks with Aunt May, he lifts up the drawing of his Spider-Man outfit, and then he looks at the camera, and then it fades out, and instead you have instead of an incredible action shot of Spider-Man thwarting bad guys by suspending them between the World Trade Center, you instead have Tobey Maguire walking into frame, looking directly down the camera, putting on the mask, and then walking off. Newspapers flash behind him. There's also like a poster which had like the World Trade Center reflected in eye visor things that was taken out.
I feel like people should have been allowed to reflect on the World Trade Center as a place for whimsical fun, including Spider-Man fucking around there and Lilo and Stitch fucking around there.
Oh yeah, Lilo and Stitch!
Yeah.
Completely changed the ending to that movie.
Well, they kept all of the... They changed a plane into an alien spacecraft, and they changed the landscape from a city into mountains, but the actual like action of the sequence is exactly the same, which is very funny.
They're sort of like avoiding narrowly hitting buildings while they're flying a plane, and it's got some nice like reflection. Like there was some good animation in those scenes that were lost as well.
Yeah, and they were trying to avoid the buildings. That's the opposite of 9/11.
You know, the Spielberg like did a load of fiddling with E.T. the Extraterrestrial for re-releases.
No.
Erasing the guns and stuff. So for a 2002 re-release of the film, the dialogue "You're not going as a terrorist" for when they're going out to like a Halloween party in costume, it was replaced with "You're not going as a hippie."
Wonderful.
Of course, my favourite, which I bring up constantly, is that in the movie, an extremely goofy movie, there's imagery that is symbolic of the 9/11 attacks. It was made before 9/11, but released afterwards on home video. So the TV airing, because it was made for TV as a movie, that it's the uncut 9/11 version of the film, whereby the climax of the film, where they smash into a big X because it took place at the X Games, they smash into the X, and they put rockets on their skateboards, and they zoom off, and they crash into the big X of the X Games, and there's a big explosion and fire everywhere, and Goofy runs in to save Max, and they go in, and there's Tank, he's like stuck under like scaffolding, and there's a shot of 2 pillars either side, which is emblematic of the 9/11 Twin Towers, and one of them collapses on top of them, and yeah.
This sounds like any building collapse. What, did they stop? Did you stop being able to acquire the towering inferno after 9/11?
Yeah, and there's also the part where Goofy hands a note to Max that says, "We're gonna do a 9/11."
He doesn't do that.
They do that.
They don't do that.
They do that.
There was a scene in The Incredibles where Mr. Incredible was going to punch a building so hard that it knocked into another building and they both collapsed. And that was replaced with the scene where they save people from a burning building. Him and Frozone save a load of people, which is just a better idea for a scene anyway.
Yeah, it's a better scene.
So mistakes into miracles, as they say.
I get it.
There was a whole Jackie Chan film called Nosebleed, where he was going to be a window washer working at the World Trade Center who foils a terrorist plot that was cancelled because of the attacks.
Look, I'm not going to say this is American hubris, but the Americans didn't know that the World Trade Center had been target of terrorist attacks since at least the early 90s. And also, like, there's lots of media from that time that's just like people joking about the World Trade Center being destroyed.
There was an incident where a plane accidentally crashed into the World Trade Center in the 90s.
Target fixation, okay? It's real. You're looking at the World Trade Center, you're like, I hope I don't hit that building.
I didn't even think like the World Trade Center was like that iconic of a landmark in New York. Like it's not even in my top 5, really.
They were at one point they were going to get rid of all the other New York buildings and just leave those. That was the plan. They were like, we've replaced them. I'm only half joking.
I remember there was a lot of people angry with Peter Jackson because he dared name the sequel to Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, in 2002. This is real.
I know. He thought about changing the name, but he was like, but Tolkien literally named the book The Two Towers. No, the studio were like, would you change the name? And he was like,
yes.
The thing is, I think angry Tolkien fans are a more dangerous force than people mad that you've named your movie The Two Towers.
They used to say it's good luck if your chopsticks are standing up straight in a bowl of rice, and now they say that's bad luck because it's more likely that a fly will land on one of the chopsticks if they're stood up next to each other and knock them over.
A fly will land on one and one will fall over to the ground,
yes.
And another fly will land on another.
I thought that was because when you do the chopsticks like that, you, at least in Japan, when you do an offering to the dead, so it's seen as sort of macabre to put them like that in your rice. That's what I've heard anyway.
No, I think it's about the 9/11.
Probably.
Yeah.
Have you noticed how the number 11 looks like the World Trade Center?
Strange that,
That's
isn't
why
it?
they picked that day.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, why are all the people on 9/12 being like, we should change the look of the number 11? It's insensitive to have it look like two towers.
You know, Simpsons and Araki predicted 9/11.
They didn't. They didn't.
They did.
They absolutely
They did.
didn't.
They did.
People go back to any imagery of a burning building.
Bart holds a picture of 2 buildings on fire, and
They asked Simpsons writers about this, and they were like, yeah, it's because $9 is like the largest small amount of money or something.
No. We figured this out when we talked about peak. $8 is $5, but $5 is $2, and $9 is really $15.
Yeah.
That's why they picked $9, because it's $15.
It's not 9/15. There's no 15th month, unless you count Smarch. Lousy Smarch weather.
Nintendo predicted 9/11 when they put out that Majora's Mask poster that's got the moon crashing into the World Trade Center.
I was going to say, it was your go-to New York advertising iconography was the World Trade Center being destroyed.
I wonder if Godzilla, Godzilla...
He damn well better
Oh, in
have.
the US movie, movie.
Godzilla better destroy that symbol of American imperialism.
There's an entry on Wikizilla for the World Trade Center.
And did it get destroyed at any point?
It's in King Kong. King Kong Lives, the 1976 King Kong remake. He climbs the Twin Towers this time instead of the Chrysler Building. And then King Kong Lives, Godzilla. Throughout the film, the World Trade Center appears in back shots.
Back shots mentioned.
I mean, background shots.
I'm just posting some stuff in the podcast channel of various media because, like, the Twin Towers were quite, I don't know, memorable. I guess they were used in a lot of advertising of things looking like they were about to get destroyed, which, in retrospect, quite funny.
They're the tallest building. They were the tallest buildings in New York, weren't they?
Yeah. Also, people tried to destroy them once in 1993. So
no, that was an accident, right? Oh wait, no, that was bombings, yeah. A news reporter later states that Godzilla's attack on the city is the worst thing to happen to the city since the 1993 World Trade Center bombings.
Well, let's hope it stays being the worst thing to happen to the city. There's an ad somewhere with Mario toppling over the World Trade Center accidentally.
Yeah, there is.
Oh yeah, he just knocks into it, doesn't he?
Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, which is the anime from like 2018. They have Kamacuras, who is one of the giant praying mantis, destroy the World Trade Centers.
In 2018?
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I guess that's long enough. 17 years. I feel like once 9/11 can legally learn to drive.
I don't think this was like in the show because it had, there was a book which is a really good fucking book. It's basically like a series of like events that take place before Godzilla arrives. It's like all these natural disasters and shit happening and monsters appearing out of nowhere. And like in the book, it says Kamacuras appears in New York, destroys the World Trade Center in 1999.
In Pilot Wing 64, a man on a hang glider can be seen circling the Twin Towers.
Alas.
In summary, they should stop airing tennis.
Agree.
Sea lunch! Sea lunch!
Check this shit.
Check this shit out.
This is my new segment, Cryptid of the Week.
Cheeky Freaky of the Week.
Or the month, or whatever. And this is the Boneless, a cryptid reported in the United Kingdom. So according to cryptids.fandom.com, the Boneless was sighted in the 1950s by a man named John Davis, who was finishing his work and heading home to Longdendale on his motorcycle. Where's Longdendale? Is that the Lake District? In September, he felt the need to stop his motorcycle for some reason, and he saw a huge black slug-like creature making a scraping sound, crossing the road heading toward the marsh. The overall impression was of a black slug, but its head resembled a whale with dark pupils. Davies later learned that someone else he knew had seen a similar creature below Ogden Clough in the same location where Davies had seen it. Now, both of these people apparently saw the Boneless in night, and they described it such that it was like it was a sort of like I don't know, animal-like supernatural blobby thing about the size of a cow and about the color of a cow.
Cow-like head.
And with a cow-like eye.
I see.
Only it was a giant slug.
Mm-hmm.
Could it have perhaps been a snake of some sort?
Pretty big.
No, because snakes have bones.
Oh, yes, right.
That can't have been the Boneless.
Yeah, this thing is the Boneless. Even though they named it, they know that it has no bones. Longindale, just outside Manchester.
Oh, it's just outside Manchester.
Oh, nearby me. Oh no.
Graham McEwen's Mystery Animals of Britain and Ireland also mentions the boneless, but in the story he recounts it as a ball of amorphous fog that rolls across a road and over a cyclist, so that the witness was inside the fog and says it smelled stale.
What?
Just normal things.
I like that it didn't even seem to smell that bad. It just smelled stale. If I had breathed in a supernatural creature, I would be like, oh, this sucks. The gas that makes you say smells stale.
Smells stale, doesn't it?
People always see cryptids crossing the road, don't they?
Where else are you going to see them?
Out for a walk, maybe?
Where's the walk?
I don't know, you're near Manchester, in a valley somewhere. There's probably somewhere to walk.
But it has to be at night.
Has to be at
where
night,
it's
yeah.
the hardest time to see anything. So you're not going to be going out in the middle of the night in the woods.
If it was day, you'd realise it was just a cow, and you can't
Yeah.
see very well. I think we should reintroduce cryptids.
Like start a breeding program.
Yeah, well, we're reintroducing like beavers and wolves, and what I've realised is that people haven't really seen that many new cryptids since the 60s and 70s. I'm thinking maybe the advent of mobile phones and omnipresent cameras have scared them off somehow. So I would propose some kind of I don't know, underground lab.
No, we need an amnesty on photographic equipment so that people can't show it to other people who are like, no, that's a dog.
It's just a big dog.
Have you ever considered that cryptids might only show up in low-fidelity cameras?
Too true.
Yeah, everyone needs to go back to 16mm cameras that are never in focus.
No, that's just ghosts.
One 18th century account from the Somerset level speaks of a slumping thing that rolled out of the mist, leaving behind crushed vegetation and the stench of sulphur. It allegedly chased a local shepherd boy who was later found in a stupor, mumbling about a pudding with eyes. Another tale from the Norfolk Broads mentions a boat that vanished overnight with only a thick smear of slime along the mooring post to hint at what had come ashore.
Okay, well that makes sense. So from this, we know that the boneless is either a blob or a gas, and we know that it eats boats, and it loves crossing the road, and it lives in either Manchester or Norfolk.
Or the Somerset levels.
There's actually a Wikipedia article for this. Hold on. Globster. A globster is an unidentified organic mass.
Oh yes, I was just reading that this happens near the Shetland Islands quite a lot, and they wonder if this could be related to the boneless as well.
From reading this article, it sounds like a globster is just an animal that's decomposed to the extent that they can't tell what it used to be.
Notable globsters identified as whale carcass, identified as whale carcass, identified as whale carcass, identified as whale carcass. Found to be a partially decomposed raccoon.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
If I was a zoologist and someone called me to the beach to identify a globster, I would be like, mate, that's the boneless. It's finally dead.
After all these years, they finally got him.
I've tested the creature's DNA, and it appears to have the DNA of a boneless.
Where did you get the boneless DNA, Professor?
I took a scooping of the slime left behind when it chased that chimney sweep or whatever it was. I don't know.
Took a creature, removed all of its bones, and then got that DNA. That's what you did.
If you were to somehow keep an animal alive after removing all of its bones, would it become a boneless?
By definition, I think yes.
Yeah.
That's how language works.
Would it take on the properties of the boneless? Like, would it begin to excrete slime?
No, because this is how they make boneless wings.
We should stop selling boneless wings. It's a misnomer. They're not wings from boneless. They're just they should call them deboned wings.
You're right. And the boneless bucket?
They're just chicken wings that someone's taken the bones out of.
What about the boneless bucket?
Deboned wings. It's like how they should stop selling buffalo wings because it's cruel to just take the wings off the buffalo and then leave them unable to fly.
I was going to say buffalo wings are called that because they're from the city of Buffalo, but I'm not going to say that on the chance that that's actually true.
Do you know that German Black Forest cake, I think, is just named after a man whose name is German Black Forest?
No, that's a Specs fact.
Yeah. German chocolate cake, originally German's chocolate cake, is a layered chocolate cake filled and topped with pecan frosting, created in the United States, named after English-American chocolate maker Samuel German.
No,
Oh dear.
that's a lie. That's an absolute lie, is what you've told me.
That is not a lie. German chocolate cake is named after a man called German. There's lots of these. They're really funny when you find out about them.
No, this is an absolute lie. I'm looking on the Wikipedia page for Black Forest Gatto, and it lists the place of origin as Germany.
No, I'm talking about German chocolate cake. You're talking about Black Forest Gatto. They're different cakes.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. There's a Mitch the Web sketch about this, where the guy creates his giant death ray, but it's just that his name is Death and the ray is harmless. Went to school with a kid named Death Ray.
I believe you. Seems reasonable.
Although, actually, I think his name might have been Death Ray. Actually, I think his name might have been Ray, and we called him Death Ray.
Andy Dufresne.
Join us next podcast when I'll be talking about Geff the Talking Mongoose.
D-lunch! D-lunch!
If you want to talk about DLSS 5,
It's fucking shit.
I'll rant about it.
yeah, let's rant about that.
Strongly believe this is an affront to life itself.
All those DLSS 5 images look like what you get if you've just imported the image from your brand new DSLR camera into image processing software, and you've cranked up all of the contrast and sharpening filters.
Yeah, it looks like there's more detail now.
It's because it's trained on porn.
When I saw it, Grace Ashcroft looked a lot more attractive.
Yeah. Because in the DLS picture, she's had lip fillers and
And
stuff.
surgery to remove her buccal fat.
Yeah.
But also, when they did it on an old woman, it looked like they'd added more wrinkles to her. They'd aged her by 20 years.
The problem we've got with it is also it changes the lighting of a lot of the scenes that they've shown quite significantly, add highlights to places where there shouldn't be any, based on the light source and things. And it's going to do that thing where it makes the edges of stuff look really fuzzy and shit as well in motion. Because,
yeah.
I mean, the other thing is they showed this running off two 5090 Ti's. Who is this for? What the fuck are they doing?
It's a theoretical graphics card.
And also, you won't need those two because instead you can sign on to their subscription service where you can stream from them.
Exactly.
$60 a month, and you can get 25 hours of video gaming per month, or an additional hours will be charged at $5 an hour.
I think it's trained on Instagram and influencer bullshit. So everyone's got a ring light centered on their face.
Yes, everyone looks like they have a ring light, so anyone's face that was partly in shadow is no longer in shadow. And also, again, going back, they showed an old woman from Hogwarts Legacy, and you can see that it didn't know what to do with the shadow from her scarf, so it made it into another part of the scarf.
Yeah.
Just, typical AI stuff. Okay, so, I want to complain about, the philosophy of this, right? Because, 3D graphics APIs and hardware really getting away from what users want. What users want is better rasterization performance and more memory. But, in 2018 or so, the relationship between, what people wanted and what people got in graphics cards just went completely awry. They became completely disconnected. And now what happens is that Nvidia announces some feature and they're like, it's the future of 3D graphics. And then it turns up in games and it fucking dominates benchmarks, and the whole industry starts to inevitably just revolve around it, right? We saw it with path tracing and ray tracing. We saw it with upscaling. We saw it with frame generation. And the typical pattern is that these features either need a really, really expensive GPU to run, or they juice the benchmark results of a lower end GPU to make it look like it's better than it is. because the performance of mid-range GPUs has been fucking stagnant for 8 years. And when I complain about this, people tell me, well, it's an optional feature, so if you don't like it, don't use it. But if the industry revolves around this bullshit, and if a lot of games requiring upscaling or fake frames in their system requirements, or if games are requiring now that you turn on ray tracing, as some do, then it's not a fucking optional feature, is it? It's something that Nvidia have told me that I have to have that I don't want. And I think DLSS is the logical endpoint of this, in that it's fucking impossible to run on anything but the highest end systems, and it's ugly and it's uncanny and nobody asked for it.
Yeah.
The thing with DLSS 5 particularly is that DLSS as a whole before now was designed to make games run faster. Now, it's doing that in a way that isn't really accurate in many ways, but it at least is making games perform better, right? This isn't doing that. This is doing the opposite. Like, why have you called this DLSS? Are you trying to push it based on the fact that people actually like DLSS a lot of the time? Because it does actually work 99.9% of the time?
Yeah, it looks, if you like all your games, looking like weird, smeary bullshit.
Yeah, I don't like it myself, and I turn it off whenever I can find it, and I just buy a better graphics card so I don't have to deal with that shit.
The whole problem with DLSS is it is designed to get more performance out of lower end graphics cards, but rather than doing that, they are designing it so that higher end graphics cards need it to get the performance that games are being made for, when it should be an optional feature for people who are still running older graphics cards or the lower models to get quote unquote better resolution. Which, you get fake resolution, fake frames. I would still prefer to run a 720p native than DLSS upscale it, because it looks like fucking cack.
It does. As someone who was forced to look at it for Expedition 33, it made the game's gorgeous visuals look terrible in lots of scenarios.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's also like a real step change for DLSS 5 as well, because at least before, the thing it was being trained on was itself. Like, it was training it on the game that you were playing, right? So at least you knew that you weren't pulling external sources about what it's showing you. With this new one, it's just, who gives a fuck? We'll take all these models that we fucking stolen the material from the internet.
Material mentioned.
Not credited to anybody. Materials mentioned. And we'll improve your materials. I'll take your art and I'll make it better.
I want to look at the materials.
That's actually free use, Moogle. Piracy is free use now. That's what Facebook has taught us.
Oh, you're right. Oh, no, only for them. Only for them. For you, it's illegal.
Oh, but I'm using it to train an AI.
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay. Sorry, do you earn more than $3 billion a year?
As far as you're concerned.
All you have to do is say that the US economy revolves around whatever bullshit you're doing.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
It does. The thing that has been good about this is the major backlash from people working in the art departments in the studios of the games that have been showcased with this, and saying, no, we don't want our character to look like that. We made a conscious decision to make our character look the way they do. It's not necessarily because we didn't have the ability to make them look the way you've made them in your DLSS thing. We do not want you taking control of our art department, because otherwise, what's the point in us designing anything?
Yeah, NVIDIA, when they announced it, they were like, we've worked closely with Capcom for this look, and they've approved it. And then some actual Capcom people commented on it, and they were like, we hadn't seen it until they revealed it.
So, from what I can gather, the way that this works is that the manufacturers, so Nvidia and AMD and presumably Intel, if they can be bothered, they basically second people into these development studios, and they're effectively there to help them get better performance, and in the background to get them to use the experimental features and stuff. So what I imagine is the one that's based at Capcom for Nvidia was do you mind if I just fuck around with some bullshit that we've got running? And they went, yeah, okay, fucking do whatever. You're helping us optimize the game. Who gives a fuck? And then they just went and did this and went, well, we worked closely with Capcom to make sure that this happened. So I imagine it's something to do with that.
Yeah, it didn't work with the artists, though.
No.
That's the thing that AI is laid bare, is that a lot of these tech people They're Philistines, and they don't understand anything about art. They don't understand what the purpose of art is.
Well, this announcement wasn't for you and me or for anyone who's listening to this podcast. It's for shareholders for Nvidia to say we're making more AI bullshit. Look how realistic that looks. Isn't that fucking great?
Guess who's also a Philistine? That's right, Tim Sweeney.
Tim Sweeney.
I thought I was going to say shareholders, didn't you?
No, it was always Tim Sweeney. But thanks, Tim. That one's on him. So
I haven't got Tim's free game in like a year. I'm missing out. Oh, that's fine. I can just pirate all of them anyway. They're free. That's fine. You know, I mean legally.
You're using them to train your AI model.
Yeah, I'm using them to train something. Yeah, I'm using them to train.
Yeah. Legally ripping them from DVD. Yeah.
Anyway, we're against whatever the fuck they're doing with that shit, and that doesn't matter because it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be forced on you, and you're gonna have to put up with it.
It's the same way that like web browser development works. Is that the companies just say this is how it's going to work from now on. Or operating systems, right? Like Windows updates. Like Microsoft is just like this is how it's going to work now, and everyone who uses Windows has to just put up with it.
Fortunately, there is a lifetime's worth of video games for you to play that already exist and are really good.
Oh yeah.
So you don't need to worry about what happens in video games in future. If it is all complete horseshit, you still have good games to play.
And also, indie games are now the best thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the 3D ones will be made with Unreal Engine 5, but hopefully they can turn some of that bullshit off when they make their game.
Well, Tim Sweeney says that it's developers' fault that all Unreal Engine 5 games run really badly. Have you thought of that? It's all developers' fault.
They should just use more frame generation, you know? Make more frames that don't allow you to interact with the game. It's great.
Curry rice.
I am now going to post list of French words of English origin.
Hooray!
This is only French in France, because obviously, like, French Canadians don't think that French should have any English loanwords in it at all, so they invent new words.
Interestingly as well, because of the split between France and Canada, like when it happened, French Canadians still use some outdated words that the French have come up with new words for. So the word in French for car is voiture. In French Canada, it is char, which is short for chariot.
Wonderful.
Well, we can't have a new word, can we? I thought they liked new words. What the fuck? That's stupid. There'll be different languages in 100 years. Okay, right. Here are some of my favorites. Le zapping, that's channel surfing.
That's changing the channel, isn't it? Yeah.
Le hotspot, that's Wi-Fi availability.
But you'd say, what would you say? Le chaud lieu, something like that would be like
Le one-man show, that's French for one-man show. Le infotainment, le biopic. How do you think the French describe a black person?
It's quite clearly unblack, right?
Un black? I don't know if that's very flattering. La success story.
No one has success in France.
No one says honest. No one says that. No one fucking says this. No, nobody's gonna say no.
This doesn't have a citation.
I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that.
Honestly, most of this could be completely made up because it's like uncited on Wikipedia, and you hear those stories about people who don't speak a language writing the article.
Let's make one right now. Let's think of one right now, and I will add it.
I've actually invented one. Well, it's not really. So the French for brunch is le brunch. They don't, and I think they should say is either le grand petit déjeuner, the big little lunch, or le moyen déjeuner, which would be like the medium breakfast or medium lunch.
It doesn't really work for this though, because it's not a loan word, is it?
Yeah.
It's just a complicated French word for a simple English word.
Le cheese. I'm liking le cheese.
They don't say le cheese. They say le fromage.
No, le cheese.
No. Le cheese is specifically referring to burger
the
cheese.
Royale with cheese.
It's a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And cheese.
Un cheese is a cheeseburger, which is very funny. My favorite is le wokisme.
Le wokisme?
Le wokisme. That one they do use. That one's real.
You've heard French people saying le wokisme?
Yes, yeah, I've talked to Amelie about it, and she said, yes, we do call that lorkies.
Table football is babyfoot.
Babyfoot, yeah.
Babyfoot.
Specs, I know you're more like a French cultural import into us, or you're importing French culture into us, but can you maybe plant the idea in some French people's heads to, like, I don't know, adopt more loan words?
And then you can gaslight your French friends and say, look, no, it's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, this is the way to go.
How about le tub for a bath?
No, that's not credible.
No, because it's got the same amount of syllables, so it doesn't really work. You need to think of a long French word or like phrase that you can simplify into something that sounds Englishy.
I'm thinking either something people say that's like social or something technological.
I mean, video game streamer is still like jeu animateur direct, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It is.
The streamer isn't that funny, in my opinion.
I agree,
the
but you can find something
streamer?
else. Le Twitcher?
How about someone who's a fan of a video game streamer and we
Oh,
call
yeah.
it le simp?
Listen. Listen.
Good one.
Le simp.
Samp. It'd be
Le
samp.
Le Samp.
Samp.
Le simp.
Le Samp.
Le apples and pears.
How do we sell it spelling simp?
It's just SIMP, which apparently translates to simple in English. It is a French word, perhaps.
I'm thinking le fish slice. What if we had le fish slice?
That'd just be le couteau de poisson.
Yeah, but no, it's a loan word now. All French people say le fish slice.
Do you know about Verlan? I've talked to Catsman a little bit about this. So
Yes.
there is a very specific type of French slang in which you almost like pig Latinize your words, but people will do this just in the middle of a sentence, and to someone who doesn't know the slang already, it's not going to make any sense. So coming back to unblack, for a black person, the verb Verlan for black is kebla. So if you were to say, oh, he's black, you might say, il est kebla, instead of il est un black, I guess.
It's pig Latin, basically, but pig Latin French.
Yes, but it's quite widely used, and they also use double Verlan, which is when you do the same thing, but like you do it again, and because the syllables are slightly different in Verlan than they are in the original, it becomes a completely different word again. It's really confusing.
That sounds really confusing. What if we did a really funny one and did le broiler?
Le broiler.
Because obviously grill is a French word. So what if we replace it with its American version?
Broiler in French means grinder.
Perfect.
So we could use it to be. We could make an app, and it could be for gay people to hook up and call it broiler.
Le broiler.
Broiler.
You go on to. I'm logging into Le Broiler, but it's just listing places that will cook me very quickly.
So double Verlan. So ma femme, my wife, becomes meuf in Verlan, ma meuf, which in double Verlan becomes femeur. So you go from femme to meuf to femeur.
This is worse than fucking Cockney rhyming slang.
The Verlan word for Arab is beurre, which also is butter. But then
What?
if you double Verlan beurre, it becomes rebou,
Red Bull.
which means Arab.
Oh.
Rebou.
I'm going to stick to Cockney rhyming slang if it's all the same to you, mate.
You know, they don't say I've got a frog in my throat in France, because that would be quite normal. They say I've got a cat in my throat when they say they've got a bit of a cough.
That's where the term cat's got your tongue comes from when it was imported over here.
I think they say the same for cat's got your tongue, but they also say if you've got a lisp, they say you've got a hair on your tongue, and if you are a lazy person, they say you have hair growing from your hands.
Oh, whereas in this country we use that to refer to a masturbator.
Yeah. People, whenever I go to France, they keep saying you've got hair growing from your hands, and I say, how do you know?
Of course, so in France, if you say there's enough room in here to swing a cat, what you mean is grabbing a person with a horse throat by the neck, which ironically is horse because it has cat in it.
Spaghetti. Spaghetti.
Does anyone here remember vanilla-flavored Monster Munch?
No.
I think you've made that shit up.
Everyone says this. The only people I have ever met who remember Vanilla Monster Munch are me and my sister. Okay?
I don't remember this. I don't think it happened.
It did happen. It did. So,
I don't think it did.
for those not in the know, Monster Munch are puffed corn, I think, like crisps that are flavoured. Usually pickled onion. That's the best flavour, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's also Cool Original, or whatever the equivalent is, and there's like a roast beef flavour or something as well. But they did a limited run of vanilla-flavoured Monster Munch, which was absolutely atrocious. And I think
Well, yeah.
my dad had this habit of anytime anything was on sale that sounded adjacent to something me and my sister liked to eat, he would buy as much of it as existed. So we were eating vanilla-flavoured Monster Munch for months. I think everyone else in the UK maybe tried it once and said, that's shite. But no, I was eating it for months. Each of the Monster Munches has a monster representing their flavour, and they all have names.
That's
So
right.
let me get to the Monster Munch.
Oh my god, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at this
They
now.
they change them as well.
So what's crazy to me about this is that number one, the vanilla Monster Munch monster is the only monster that has a name. His name is Fabrizio. All the rest of them are just named shit like Pink Monster and Red Monster. But his name is Fabrizio. But also, there's a lot that's more disturbing about this. Like, for example, several of them have favorite foods. Like, the blue monster's favorite food is cheese. But Fabrizio's favorite food is himself.
He looks like a globster to me, if I'm honest.
He does look like a
He
globster.
does look like a globster. He looks like. Do you think he could maybe be the Boneless?
It's possible.
No, because he's white and the boneless is dark coloured.
He doesn't look like a whale.
His weight is given as 8,465 litres. So,
Not a weight.
Mitchell,
Not
you
a
said
weight.
that I couldn't measure things in the weight of beans, and you're wrong, aren't you?
I do think it's unfortunate that he is a white gelatinous substance as a monster these days. I think you get made fun of for that. Maybe not so much in the couple of months in 2003 when they sold this.
Fabrizio only existed for 1 year. They both started selling Vanilla Monster Munch and discontinued them within the year 2003.
It's your dad who is keeping them going.
Yeah. I think there was a baked bean flavour as well. Am I right about that?
Let me look.
No, I think that was...
No.
I remember the Beano kids being on a packet of crisps, and they were baked bean flavoured Beano crisps. I'm going to find that now as well.
That doesn't sound very good. I cannot confirm this rumor that you've spread. Oh, actually, no. I'm looking at a packet of Bash Street Kids crisps here,
I'm telling
but
you.
it doesn't say what flavor they are. What is it with? I don't know if this is just a thing with dads generally, but when they start buying something, it's very hard for them to stop buying it. Like, it took months to get my dad to stop buying cheese coleslaw, which is the only food that is consistently reduced in my local co-op, because no one wants it.
Oh, I love cheese coleslaw. I sometimes buy regular coleslaw and put cheese on it.
That's okay. That's normal. But cheese coleslaw is a soggy object. It's just...
So's coleslaw!
Yeah, but coleslaw is crunchy, whereas cheese coleslaw is a mixture of crunchy and wet, and I do not... There's too much cheese in cheese coleslaw. Put cheese on top of it. Don't mix cheese in. There's just something wrong about that. But anyway, my dad used to buy a Ginster's pasty every week, but it would be in the fridge all week. It would be in the fridge until Saturday, Saturday lunchtime, before he did the shopping for the next week. And one time I asked him, why do you always eat the Ginster's pasty on Saturday? And he was like, oh, it's because I like it least, so I leave it to last. And I said, if you don't like it, why not just buy a different food? And he seemed really confused by this as a concept.
There were cheesy bean wicked waffle crisps with Roger the Dodger advertising them. There were a number of different Beano snacks for a time, I think.
Damn.
Walkers have a habit of putting out weird lines of crisp flavors as well. Do you remember when they were advertising crisps with Gary Lineker and
Salt and Lineker!
Michael Owen? Salt and Lineker,
Salt and Lineker, tears and onion.
And Cheese and Owen were football player flavored crisps.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Salt and Lineker actually tasted like Gary Lineker, but that's just me. Maybe they did. I remember ketchup flavored crisps, which everyone said were gross, but realistically they were just salt and vinegar crisps, but a little bit red and tomatoey.
They're back. They brought them back recently.
The predominant flavor of ketchup is vinegar, so it's not really. People went crazy about those things.
Yeah.
Also, Marmite Walkers did Marmite flavor crisps for a while. I think you could just get Marmite flavor crisps now.
Yeah.
I think we have that technology.
You get Marmite peanuts now. Marmite peanuts are doing quite well, I think.
Yeah.
Apparently they had Smokey Beckham as well.
Smokey Beckham.
Smokey Beckham.
We need to return to a time of food-based innovations, and by that I mean, bring back 3D Doritos, you fuckers! I've been thinking about 3D Doritos for 15 years.
I want my pregnant M&Ms again.
Fragante M&Ms.
Where are my pregnant M&Ms?
I think they rotate in and out different varieties of M&Ms deliberately to create
It's been years.
an economy of false scarcity, because mini M&Ms disappeared for ages and now they're back.
I know they're back, but I don't want it makes sense, the life cycle. The pregnant M&Ms gave birth to the mini M&Ms.
The pregnant M&Ms, they spawn mini M&Ms like caviar.
David Beckham is fighting to prevent his name being used to sell a brand of crisps, it emerged today. While Gary Lineker and Michael Owen have happily endorsed Walker's Crisps flavours Salt and Lineker and Cheese and Owen, the Manchester United star is objecting to an attempt to register Smokey Beckham as a trademark.
I'm sorry, I thought these crisps were produced in cooperation with a footballer. I didn't know that they had named crisps after footballers without even asking the footballer.
The headline is United Star chokes on Smokey Beckham flavour, and I was hoping that actually someone from Man United, it had been discontinued because someone from Man United had eaten a crisp and almost died. But apparently not.
Eating a Beckham flavoured crisp, no less. Do you think someone made fun of him? Do you think they pointed at a crisp and said, "That's you"? Going back to the Monster Munch monsters. Okay, I'm going to read you occupations. Pink monster, occupation, none. Blue/yellow monster, occupation, monster. Red monster, occupation, monster. Orange monster, occupation, monster. Purple monster, occupation, monster. Pink monster, occupation, monster. Fabrizio, occupation, chilling out.
Yeah, boy.
He's chilling out and he's eating himself. That's the lifestyle I would like to lead.
He also doesn't have a favourite drink, but the Pink Monster's favourite drink is gravy milkshake.
Yeah.
Oof.
The Blue/Yellow Monster's favourite drink is Pepsi Max.
He's the outlier because he's the only one who has a favourite drink that's normal.
Are Walkers owned by PepsiCo?
Everything's owned by one of like two food companies at this point. I think an American food conglomerate is buying Marmite soon. So, if you love Marmite,
Oh, that's fucked.
you might want to stock up on original Marmite.
They are owned by PepsiCo, and Marmite is a French word, actually. It means pot.
Okay, I'm going to start calling it pot.
It refers to like an old style of clay pot, because the original Marmite container was actually a clay pot, not the sort of glass ones that we have now.
Stop making this educational.
He's just making things up. Don't believe him.
I also would like them to bring back Mars Delight, because that was much better than an actual Mars bar.
What was Mars Delight?
It was like a surgically enhanced Mars bar.
How does it enhance?
It had like wafers in it and stuff, and it had a funky shape.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean, I'll continue to buy the double-decker, but whatever.
I'm glad we still have the double-decker. Well, I say have. It's continually shrinking.
Alas.
In France, the Monster Munches don't look like monster claws. They look like screaming faces.
It doesn't look like a screaming face to me. It looks like a happy face.
No, that's a pained face.
It's existential angst. Don't worry about it.
I think that's maybe the face of a guy who says he's alright but isn't alright.
Yeah, very French.
The French don't say they're alright. What the hell are you talking about?
We were going to talk about dipping-based snack foods, right?
We're just going to talk about generally refrigerated snack foods.
It's time for lunches.
Yeah. Why did they change it to lunches? Does anyone understand the logic?
I don't know, and it makes me angry every day.
It was a real like Mandela effect moment when I was like walking through the co-op and looked to see what looked like a Lunchable, but it said lunches on it. And I was like, how long has that said lunches? And I looked it up and they changed the name to lunches like 2 years ago or 5 years ago or something ridiculous.
Apparently, this was... Okay, there's two reasons this might be. It might be because they wanted to bring it in line with the rest of the Dairy Lee portfolio, so it rhymes. Lunchers, dunkers, snackers, crackers, they all have an on the end. But also someone is saying it's due to a lawsuit that they were having with a German company. Hold on, let me look into this.
This is absolutely ridiculous. No one says lunches. No one is ever going to say lunches.
Lunchables.
I'm not going to say lunches.
Lunchables. If they changed it to lunchsters, would you be on board then?
Oh yeah, I love the stir naming.
Possibly a lawsuit with Heinz and Oscar Mayer, which may own the Lunchables name and trademark.
This has been on my mind. The Lunchables are on my mind whenever I see Animitch because almost as a sign of like mistrusting whatever food we might cook or order, he will buy like a Lunchable as insurance.
It's just a nice small thing to have. I don't like pre-made sandwiches really. So I'll just have a lunch because it's cheese and crackers. It's like prison food. Because that's where I feel like I am when I meet up with people.
But it's like we go over to Specs and I'm like, can I have plants out of your garden? And Specs is like, yeah. And Mitch doesn't want the mystery plants out of Specs' garden that might
The weeds that are just growing.
might be a little bit
weeds.
poisonous.
He eats them all, leaves and all.
The weeds that are just growing in the dog shit that's been thrown over the garden fence.
The dog's moved out now.
Oi.
So long, dog. I'm currently looking into disincentives for cats because the gully outside my house has become the communal shitting area for literally all of the neighborhood cats, and it fills with shit so quickly that I can't shovel it away. And whenever I get a package delivered, I don't know why this is, but the delivery guy like sees the perfectly good parcel box that he could put the parcel into and ignores it and like smushes the parcel. No, he smushes it down onto like a massive like steaming cat turd, and it's existentially bothering me. Why do that? Did you not smell the cat turd that you were smushing my parcel onto? What am I I can't put this in the recycling now.
Oh, grim.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
On a helpful note, I've heard that human hair can deter cats. So if you start collecting hair, go into a hairdresser's and just ask, can you have the bags of hair that they are done with at the end of the day? You could even offer to just sweep up any hair that's being left around and take it home to sprinkle in the gutter.
I mean, I already have quite long hair, so I fear that they might think I was stealing the hair for myself. But also, if I have friends over and they look down into the gully and they're like, is that human hair you've got down there? And I say, yes, I'm using it to deter cats. They'll think I've finally lost it.
Why are you trying to get rid of yourself? That's really weird.
Ironically, despite being the Catsman, the sheer like quantity of cat shit that I'm dealing with has made me harden on cats.
I see.
And using that phrase out loud maybe is not the best way to put that, but you know what I mean.
Coming back to talking about Lunchables, so they're still called Lunchables in the US, so if you ever visit Mitch, you can stock up there. I want to float the idea that Lunchables are actually a training scheme to teach children to make sandwiches, because you're given the components of a sandwich, the cracker, representing the bread, the tiny cheese, representing a regular-sized cheese, and the unidentified meat that they give you. And the thing is, as a young child, you don't understand that you have exactly the right amount of cracker, cheese, and meat to make just the right amount of sandwich.
I don't think you do.
No, there's never enough cracker.
You do.
There's never enough
You've
cracker.
got a double stack. You got. No, there is. You just need 2 cheese and 2 ham per cracker.
No, that's not right. That's not right.
That's a crazy ratio.
That's too much. That's too much.
Then once you've learnt that as a child, you can graduate into being an adult who makes their own sandwiches, and you can get crazy with your ingredients. You can start putting the dandelion leaves from the garden in there and things like that, you know?
No.
What?
See, this is
what
the
he
thing.
does.
This is what cults do. They start you out and like, oh yeah, that's fairly reasonable, and then all of a sudden you're just like, here's the special underwear, and God's behind the curtain.
Yeah, let's go to the local vegan curry house. It's called Herb. It's really, really good. Just try a tasting menu. And you end up eating fucking dandelions.
I like Specs' mystery plants, but I'm not sure if I would eat the dandelions. I think as a child I tasted like one of everything in my parents' garden, because they did like have my stomach pumped at one point, at least according to my mum.
Oh god. Oh
But
god.
funnily enough, almost all of it, even the really visually appealing stuff, like a delicious juicy red berry, didn't taste nice. Gooseberries? Why do they call them gooseberries? That makes them sound delicious. They're fucking rank.
They're not nice.
No, gooseberries are good. I've got a gooseberry bush in my garden that I'm growing gooseberries on now, and I'm going to make a gooseberry fool out of it.
This is the exact problem that you have. You could be growing a different berry.
I'm growing. You know all those plum and cherry stones I throw in my compost in the hope that they'll one day grow into a tree? 2 of them have sprouted this year, and I'm going to have plums and cherries in my garden this time next year.
That rules, actually, plums and cherries. Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of, as they say, a little bit of Rayman, a little bit of UFO 50, as they say.
Yeah.
Lunchables were listed among the Cancer Project's 5 worst lunchbox meals in 2009. I don't know why the Cancer Project decided this, but the Cancer Project has slammed Lunchables.
That was 2009. We've got so many more worse.
A 2024 report by Consumer Reports found that there are high concentrations of lead and phthalates and high levels of sodium in Lunchable products.
Wonderbar.
Phthalates are a chemical family known to cause hormone disruption, and that's why all the kids are trans these days. It's because of Lunchables, isn't it?
It's the lead in the water. Do you remember they did hot dogs? You could get like mini hot dog Lunchables.
Oh, the Lunchable hot dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever bought a Lunchable is when I was like staying in a hotel, I think, and did not want the hotel dinner. I like went to the nearby Sainsbury's and just bought like anything that was chilled and food and ate that instead.
What do you think of Snack Attacks? Do you remember Snack Attacks? I mean, they're still there.
Aren't they just like a knockoff Lunchable?
I agree with Mitch that Snack Attacks are fucking terrible.
They're bad.
Who puts ketchup with cheese in a wrap? That's the sort of food an idiot would make.
I like ketchup on a cheese sandwich, but the problem with them is it's like a string cheese, so it barely tastes of anything.
Oh.
And like the ketchup is like not great. And the wraps are like the most fragile. They're not soft. So when you fold them, they just like break immediately.
They just tear, yeah, it's crap.
Other complaints. Fridge raiders can fucking get out. Why do those things exist? Who's buying fridge raiders?
Yeah.
They're just really bad processed chicken. It's really bad.
Is that like a Rustler's burger?
No, it's like, I want to pay £1 for the worst quality chicken you've ever seen, for like 3 pieces of it in a plastic pack.
It's bad.
Yeah,
It's bad.
there's so little. Rustlers, they're not great. Like, you could probably buy all the ingredients. Again, you could buy all the ingredients for a burger. And for cheaper.
Rustlers do like a McRib version. I would love to know where I could get a McRib-shaped piece of pork. I think at one point my dad switched from Ginsters to Rustlers, because I know for a fact that he bought the Deus Ex Human Revolution Rustlers burger.
Oh, God.
With a trip to Detroit.
Do you remember that
Mr. Beast or one of those fuckers was making
Yeah.
like a open source Lunchable or some shit.
Open source Lunchable?
It's not an open source Lunchable. It's like a really expensive Lunchable that children want that is like really bad for them. I can't remember what it's called.
Are they still making these?
Yeah, like a group of YouTubers colluded to create an...
Schemed.
I was going to say evil Lunchable, but like a more evil Lunchable.
It's called Lunchly.
Do you think it's got more or less lead than the Lunchable?
I think it's got less because it's got less preservatives in it because the cheese goes moldy inside the packet.
Oh
The
god.
cheese ages
On store
in
shelves.
the packet.
Oh god.
Oh, right, yeah, I've looked it up. A Lunchly contains a prime drink.
Oh fuck.
I enjoyed watching the progress of Prime in my local shop from occasionally appearing on the shelf to there being a massive pile of them that were all
Yeah,
£4
Like 1 week they
to
were
being
everywhere.
a massive pile of them that were all discounted to 30p because nobody wanted them.
A local spa had like a life-size cutout of Mr. Beast to promote the Prime, and part of me wanted to ask, when you're done with that, can I have it? But I don't know how I'd get him home on my motorcycle. It'd be like a terrible wind sail.
Get a sidecar.
Sidecar.
I'm imagining Animitch getting fucking sideswiped by a car opening their door and just like this Mr. Beast cutout just like decapitating you or something.
There are significant levels of lead and phthalates in Lunchly as well,
Good.
Yeah.
as well as mold.
I mean, that's fair enough.
As well as mold, it just molds. Great.
I mean, I will say I am suspicious. Anytime someone comes out and names a food and then they say this causes cancer, I am suspicious. I know some things do legitimately cause cancer, but if all of the articles proclaiming that a certain food caused cancer, then literally all foods would cause cancer.
Interestingly, on Wikipedia, one of the related pages to Lunchables is meals ready to eat.
Hey! Now, the meal ready to eat is a real Lunchable. Maybe I'll buy Mitch an MRE as a gift. The ultimate Lunchable.
Depends what flavor it is.
You know, I realise now I've been subject to the pressures of advertising by Metal Gear Solid 3 because I ate so much calorie, mate, when I was in Japan.
Why?
So much. Every flavour.
That shit sucks.
I had it for breakfast.
My friend who won't shut the fuck up about Metal Gear Solid 3 also bought Calorie Mate from Japan and offered me some. And it's just like a flavorless biscuit.
It's kind of like shortbread, but with like a weird flavour, yeah. A weird, undiscernible flavour.
It's absolutely awful.
I kind of like it.
That said, my friend who went to Japan brought back, what is it called? Pocari Sweat. Have you ever had Pocari Sweat?
Fuck Pocari Sweat. You want to get
water.
100 plus from Malaysia. It's like
Yeah?
Pocari Sweat, but it tastes nice and not shit.
Oh god, he's talking about his Malaysia. He's on his Malaysia arc now.
Malaysia is
Until
better.
he goes
Malaysia
to
is
another
better.
Southeast Asia country, and then he's like, actually, that is
No.
the better one?
Malaysia
I hate
slaps.
Malaysia now.
Are you angry because Specs went to Japan and Malaysia and liked Malaysia more?
We briefly talked about this while I was trying to not talk to Specs when he was like, you'll hate Japan. I was like, no, you're just a fake weeb who watches the One Piece live action on Netflix and likes it.
It's true, he does that.
I thought everyone liked the One Piece live action. I thought it was the one that they'd made that everyone liked.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Mitch doesn't like it because he likes 4Kids One Piece.
Look, if I can get my hands on some 100 plus, I would absolutely try it. But I genuinely keep Pocari Sweat in my house because it's actually the ultimate hangover cure. I don't even use it when I go hiking. I just use it when I'm hungover.
Yeah, but it tastes like an old man's armpit.
It doesn't taste like an old man's armpit. It tastes like hydration and faintly of grapefruit.
I got a can of Boss coffee in like a Tokyo blind box snack thing, and I haven't opened it.
I love that Boss coffee.
It's just there. I haven't opened it. I dread to think what it looks like inside that can.
How long has it been there?
I don't know. Yeah, it's coming up to 10 years at this point, probably.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, actually, no, coffee goes stale. That is absolutely. I mean, it won't kill you, I don't think, but it will be incredibly stale. But like those Boss coffee cans are really nice. I genuinely, it fucks me off like looking at canned coffee on the shelves in this country because we are so far behind. Like Boss coffee is just literally unsweetened iced coffee and it's delicious. And all of our coffee on our shelves is like Starbucks caramel macchiato. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But I would just like to be able to buy a cheap can of just iced coffee. I'm like that boomer in that fucking webcomic who keeps asking for just coffee, even though they sell it. Although in this case, they don't fucking sell it.
You know what they say, though? Suntory Boss is the boss of them all since 1992.
I am immune to advertising, except if Dale Cooper tells me to buy a kind
Dale
of
Cooper.
coffee in a Japanese advert, then I will buy it.
You do as you're told.
Did he advertise Suntory Boss?
Let me double check this before I claim it out loud. No, he advertised Georgia Coffee, which is a competing brand of canned coffee.
You know, I went to school with a girl called Georgia Coffee.
Nah, I don't think you did. That's a lie.
She was Welsh. It was spelled Caugghey.
No.
I went to school with a girl named Georgia Coffee, but it was spelled Coffey.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. That's reasonable.
It was Tommy Lee Jones who advertised for Boss Coffee.
Oh, it was Tommy
Yes,
Lee
yeah,
Jones.
he
I
did,
forget
yeah.
he was massive in Japan for a while. He was in everything.
Are we wrapping up? I think we're
I'm
running out of
rapping
steam.
all
Is
day.
that...
I'm rapping
fuck's
all
sake.
night.
Is there anything else to talk about? Catsman Airport reviews?
Oh, Catsman Airport reviews.
No, I don't want to do that right now.
Why not?
That'll be too long, I think. We could talk about the TV that didn't fall off the wall.
That will take way too long.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole episode.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's the first thing we'll do next podcast is the TV that fell off the wall.
No, we're dedicating a whole podcast to
It'll
it.
have its own dedicated spin-off called the TV That Didn't Fall Off the Wall podcast.
Did the TV fall off the wall?
The TV that may have fallen off the wall.
Did the TV fall off the wall? Question mark. It's like a true crime thing.
True crime.
Oh! Do we want to talk about Alex impregnating his cousin?
Yes!
Yeah, I want to talk about that. Yes, yeah. Moogle, you'll understand this best. You tell it.
Alex was supposed to be the main character of Street Fighter 3. He's a professional, I guess he's a wrestler. He does wrestling moves. And he shows up in Street Fighter 3, and he shows up in Street Fighter 5. And then for Street Fighter 6, he's the most recently released DLC character. And he's got a story, like single-player story mode to play through. And it turns out that he's married his cousin, who he's known since she was a baby. And people find that kind of weird. Because it's kind of weird.
How old was she when he was a baby?
No,
I mean, how old was she baby when he was man?
a baby.
A baby is a baby's age.
He was full-grown man.
He was an adult.
He was full-grown baby?
I think he was an adult.
He is at least 18 years older than this baby woman he married, who is also his cousin.
I wanted to ask about this because I was confused when I read this article. Is this a retcon? Like, was this intended to be a different kind of relationship? What's happened here? Were they always cousins?
So she is his stepsister and second cousin.
Both?
Yes.
I'm struggling to visualize the family tree.
I think she's his, she's his second cousin. So she's his cousin's daughter, but also he's been adopted into the same family. So that means she's his stepsister because his adopted parents are her parents, but also she's biologically related to him because she's his second cousin.
The article on Push Square says there's some debate over whether Tom is actually Alex's father or just his mentor.
So prior to this, they weren't cousins in any way. I believe they were just like stepbrother sister.
So they made them cousins so that they could have this incest plot.
1978, Alex. 1983, Patricia.
Okay, so he's only 5 years older, so that's probably acceptable.
Oh, well, that's good. It's good that this incestuous relationship doesn't have a weird age gap in it.
Also, she's pregnant in the game as well. So he's they're having a baby.
A second cousin is not that bad.
Yeah, it's not. The aristocracy, well known for being reasonable in this country, call them kissing cousins, if I remember correctly.
It's still not great, but it's not as bad as it could be. Now, her being his adopted sister, that's kind of worse,
Yeah.
but biologically doesn't necessarily make it that bad. I think the real question on everybody's lips, though, is Kenny Omega did the mocap for Alex in this game.
He sure did.
Did he do the mocap for the impregnation of the sister cousin?
We just don't know.
You say sister cousin, it just sounds like a sort of relationship that only exists in Mormonism.
In the ending for Street Fighter 3, Alex and Patricia are with John Renault.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why is Jean Renault there? She does look a lot smaller than him in this picture, but he is also a large wrestler.
I mean,
Well,
he is a
Alex
very
is a
large
very
man.
large
He's a very
man.
large man.
That's because he's a fucking Street Fighter. Whoa! Well, that might make Street Fighter illegal in this country now.
Only if there's face sitting involved, and I don't think there is.
Fictional depictions of incest are also illegal now, I think.
Fantastic.
We'll continue to make things illegal until morale improves.
I think we need to keep making things illegal until we forget about Peter Mandelson.
As they say, she petered on my mandel till I sun.
That's true.
Anyway, the point is, what the fuck, Capcom? You know, there was a similar thing in Mega Man where, like, rock and roll weren't confirmed. I don't know if they've ever formally been confirmed as brother and sister, but it's led to some weird incest stuff, particularly in Mega Man-related extended media, because Capcom refused to tell people that they were brother and sister.
Like in the Mega Man cartoon, they were dating or something.
Something like that. It might not have been the cartoon.
Well, you know, you got to have a love interest for Mega Man, and really, who else is there going to be? You know,
Yeah.
You can't make him gay, can you? You can't be having sex with Guts, man.
All the Robot Masters are men, except for one. I feel like that must be really awkward at, like, EDI meetings.
A robot designed to work in and around those that tear up your guts.
I'm just reading the trivia now, and it's like, however, in New York, where Alex lives and is based from, alongside his family, marrying a second cousin is legal, so there is no moral grey area. And the last bullet point is, Alex is the only known character to be married to and have produced a child with a blood relative, Patricia.
Fantastic.
And here we see the pipeline of incest from bizarre announcement to line on trivia page on Fandom Wiki.
Fantastic.
It says in this trivia that his pregnancy references the relationship of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Are they cousins and adopted?
I've just looked them up. Number one, I don't think they're cousins. Number two, they named their daughter Rue. That's the name of a whipped emulsion of butter and flour.
Rue Rollins.
You need a roux before you can make a Welsh rarebit.
Exactly.
I don't think they were related before they were married. I don't know what this trivia section is trying to get at.
Yeah, I don't.
Here's my daughter, balsamic reduction.
I do like a balsamic reduction, though.
Here's my daughter, melted cheese.
Here's my daughter Whipped. Her middle name is Cream. And my other daughter Whipped. Her middle name is Ass.
Jesus fucking Christ.
As they say, Winamp, it really whips the daughter's ass.
You know, at the very least, we have proved that we can record this fucking slop on time to a schedule.
What do you mean slop? This is the work of human beings who have proper, like, brain problems that can only come from 30 years of being alive.
Only come from brain problems.
Jesus! You've been listening to the Lunchtime Podcast, and all that remains is to thank you for listening and thank all of you for being here. What a wonderful world we live in, with such beauty in it.
Vote for our next book club games, because we will update the wheel for the next one, Honest. I'll post the link in the podcast notes.
Damn, I would have happily given all of my airport reviews. Okay, those will be at the top of the spin-off episode that we do about the TV that fell off the wall.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Charlotte said I slept talked last night, and she can't remember what I said, but she did have a dream that a load of people were trying to kill Willem Dafoe.
Stop dreaming about Willem Dafoe. Do you have any idea how many of the dreams in your dream log involve Willem Dafoe in some way?
I think the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies have not helped that.
Anyway, people were shooting him, and he just wouldn't die, and she had to go over to his near to lifeless body on the ground, and the only way they could find to kill him was she had to stand on his neck until he suffocated. So that was Charlotte's dream last night.
I believe that you're real sleep talking, partly because sometimes in the middle of saying something about bums or farting or weeing or all the various things that you talk about, you shift into I'm talking to one of my patients mode.